The key to perfect sushi at home all starts with the rice. So we're going to take a closer look at how to get it right every time. Now the type of rice that I'm using is an American medium grain rice, and there's a reason behind it. See, when I used to be a student, I used to make sushi professionally at restaurants, and they exclusively used Calrose rice. Where I live, getting authentic Japanese varieties are just hard to come by. Varieties like Koshihikari, Sasanishiki, and Akita Komachi. I hope I got those right, but it's just not a thing where I live. The best thing that's not Calrose that I've seen is rice that's literally called sushi rice, without any distinction of what type of rice it is. Now, whatever rice you use, you can either use a rice cooker or a saucepan to make it. I'm gonna make it over the stove. So you need to make sure you wash the rice really well, while some varieties also come pre-washed. Now, it's your decision if it's pre-washed, similar to my Calrose over here. You can still wash it 1 or 2 times to get any excess starch or dirt out, but you don't technically have to if it's pre-washed. Then add the water. Each rice will have its own water rice ratio, so keep a close eye, look at the package directions, and cook the rice. So stovetop is as easy as bringing the water up to a boil, and when it's boiling, lower the heat and cover loosely until the rice has absorbed all that water. Now, once the rice is cooked, you want to make sure that it's al dente. It's not too mushy and it's not hard. And there should not be any excess water collected at the bottom of the pot as well. Same goes for the rice cooker. The rice should also appear slightly moist. That's going to help give you the perfect texture at the end. Once you get that, you turn off the heat and just let the rice sit with the lid on for about 10 or so minutes. Let that steam just redistribute itself all over that rice. While that's happening, let's talk about the rice seasoning. Now, authentic Japanese varieties of rice have a ton of flavor in themselves, but the rice seasoning is required to give rice that tangy, sweet, salty taste that we all love from our favorite sushi restaurants. And it really is a combination of rice vinegar, sugar, and salt. And different ratios of these ingredients helps to get distinctive flavors within the rice. Making it is as simple as measuring the rice vinegar, sugar, and salt in a large container and just whisking it until everything has dissolved. Now, it's a whole different story if you're making multiple batches of it. For example, when I used to make rice professionally, I used to also make the rice seasoning, and that's like in huge jugs essentially, with like a couple liters of rice vinegar, a couple 100 grams of sugar and salt. You cannot whisk that, not without wasting a bunch of time. So think of an immersion blender, except it's like the size of my torso, and you would take this big machine, stick it in the big tub of ingredients and just go at it. It's like being a construction worker in the kitchen. It's kind of fun, and I always look forward to making rice vinegar. Even though it was very strong, the aroma of the vinegar itself making that amount of rice vinegar. The rice should be done now, and now we have to keep a close eye on how we mix the vinegar with the rice. And traditionally, you would use a hangiri. And traditionally, a hangiri is used because that round shape allows you to mix it really efficiently, and it allows the rice to cool down really quickly as you're mixing. But what I'm showing you instead is you making great sushi rice at home without spending $200+ on a proper hangiri. I'm using a large glass plate. You can also use a plastic container. You want to always avoid using metallic containers while making sushi rice, because guess what? The vinegar is acidic and it can react with the metal, giving the rice a metallic flavor that's not akin to sushi at all, or sushi rice at all. So always plastic, glass, or hangiri. And as you're evenly spreading out the rice seasoning, grab a rice paddle and just fan the rice, just kind of slice through the individual grains of the rice as you incorporate the mixture of rice seasoning with the individual grains of rice. You want to avoid tossing it too much because that can alter the texture of the rice. You want to retain those firm, puffy grains of al dente rice and mix it at the same time, and it's going to take practice to get right. You can now just let this cool down slightly, and you know what's great about amazing sushi rice is you can go so many ways with it. You can make all kinds of nigiris, all kinds of makis or rolls, or go ahead and make crazy sushi cones. I recently made a video on tempura where I made some awesome shrimp tempura. Well, I'm using that shrimp tempura in these homemade sushi cones, and I'm gonna do a much more in-depth video on cones, different types of cones, different ways to present these cones, and it's gonna be a blast. So stay tuned, there's a lot more to come when it comes to Japanese cuisine, and I'll see you all on the next one.